Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here on Live Impact News. Now, you might have noticed, I am not Nick Sturdivant, nor am I Jane Monreal. It's okay. This is Carly and Bragg, your producer. Nick is running just a few minutes behind, but don't worry, I got you covered until then, and I'm not alone. I have with me the most beautiful, gorgeous, talented, smart, majestic Storm and I are holding it down until
we
Nick
are.
gets here. You know, it happens.
People know who you are. You're part of the fam.
At this point, I'm part of this thing.
Everyone knows who you are. So this is a nice little special surprise. You're just doing your thing, and I have no doubt that we can make this work.
We're gonna make it work.
But we will give Nick a hard time when he gets to work.
100%.
Absolutely.
Because if it was us behind, best believe he'd give us a hard time.
Exactly. Tell me how he had time to run 11 miles this morning, but can't make it to work.
He ran 11 miles this morning?
He ran 11 miles this morning.
How did he post this on social media?
He's incredible.
Sturdivant.
I know. I know.
It's
fine.
Here.
It's fine. We got this. It'll be the girls' show for a little while.
The ladies will hold it down.
Yes. So it's beautiful outside today.
It's gorgeous.
Have you been loving this?
I like it. I went outside in this little blouse. I'll show it on camera here. This morning, I didn't wear a jacket, and I was like, I'm chilly willy, but I know when I leave at 3 o'clock today, my car will be boiling.
I know, right? I feel like it's a time of the year where I want to put on a jacket in the morning, toss it aside in the afternoon, or even I legitimately will turn on my seat heaters in my car.
You have seat heat? Oh, that's nice.
Yes, and so I'll do that in the morning, and then in the afternoon, some AC or roll down the windows. But it's fine. And I've also noticed a lot of people still driving their convertibles, their motorcycles, their cruising. Yeah. This is the perfect weather to do it. Especially, I was thinking about this. I don't know why, but a whole crew of motorcyclers, what do you call them?
Cyclists? Oh, well, cyclists are bikers. They're bikers.
Bikers. A whole group of bikers. They go past my house every night at like 6 o'clock, and there's about 20 of them, and they are loud, and I'm like, that is so fun. But also, instead of doing it right in front of my house, they should go up in the beautiful mountains, this time of the year. Wouldn't that be fun?
I would imagine if you're going this time, I'm sure there's tons of bikers out there. It'd be a beautiful ride.
So pretty. I want to show you a live camera. This one's coming in from Blowing Rock, because this has been one of my favorite cameras, because I haven't been to Blowing Rock yet since I've moved here.
It's really nice.
I'm going this weekend, and it just kind of reminds me of a cute little Hallmark town. Am I getting the right vibes?
Yeah, it's like it's a little cute little mountain town. It's postcardy, you know. It's adorable.
And I was talking with Destiny. She was doing traffic this morning, and she said that she went to this area last week, and I'm seeing if this is loading. Sometimes these resort cameras,
they take a minute.
They work, and they're so pretty. And then
you and I have to fuss with these cameras a lot, and sometimes they do not cooperate.
She was saying that in Blowing Rock it was so pretty and nice, but she's like, you have to get out there early because there is legitimate traffic. Like, people want to see these beautiful fall colors, and Blowing Rock is the place to be. Let's see. Hold on. This will be the... it's not even working.
We got the Matrix, though.
Seriously?
That's always nice.
All right. Well, anyways, we'll move on from that. Maybe we'll show it later if it decides to get its behavior right. But here's the deal. Let's head into the forecast, because we're breaking down a lot of things. It has been so nice over the last few days. I've noticed a lot of kids outside playing. I've noticed a lot of people out in their yards raking their leaves, just doing yard work, doing anything to just be outside in the nice weather. Temperatures right now are still pretty mild, 50s, 60s. Not a bad start to the day. Now, the difference today compared to the last few days will be temperatures will be a little bit cooler. This is kind of weird because we've had 3 days in a row where it's really rinse and repeat, 81 degrees every single day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Isn't that odd?
Well, it's weird because Chris came in here yesterday and he had a copy and paste forecast. It really was like the same thing, and it was like it's kind of wild. You're talking 80s, and it's we're closer to November than we are from
middle of October now.
Yeah.
So 3 days in a row, 81 degrees was our official high temperature. Today, planned for mid-70s, but I don't think anyone's going to be mad about that. I mean, it's still so nice to get outside, maybe go walk on the greenway, or go for a bike ride, or play pickleball, do something, even just take a lunchtime walk. Now, here's the catch. Tomorrow morning... it's going to be chilly willy.
Chilly willy.
Chilly willy.
That's
like
chilly willy. You need a jacket. You need a light jacket.
You do, because this morning we were into around those mid-50s. Tomorrow morning, about 10 degrees cooler. So
crisp.
40s. Crisp for us, for sure. 30s up in the mountains. And here's also kind of what we're watching for. So we've had this cold front pass through. It's a backdoor cold front. So instead of moving west to east, it's moving in from the northeast and heading south. So it pulls in cooler temperatures for us. That's why temperatures will be a couple of degrees degrees cooler, but it also pulls in drier northerly air. So drier air meaning that it's definitely not muggy, but it makes it feel really crisp in the morning. So that's what you're going to notice as you're heading out the door for your Friday. Overall, though, there's live cameras. That one in Boone is also really pretty as well. Lots of trees changing colors there. Charlotte looking good. Monroe had a really gorgeous sunrise. I think that they had the most beautiful shot this morning. And then you can see over the next couple of days, mid-70s. Saturday and Sunday, if you're already making those weekend plans, Saturday looks nice, 82 degrees, sunny, warm. Sunday, we have a small chance of seeing a few showers, only a 30% chance. Just yesterday we had it at 50, but it's looking like we're going to see it less and less likely with that rain. So 30% chance, 30% on our 7-day forecast. Do you know what that means, Carlene? Do you remember? Because viewers get this confused. 30%.
30% means it's 30% of our area will see rain.
Good job.
Yay!
Yes. So that's not a lot of people. Most of us, we're going to stay dry all throughout the whole weekend, but we think 30% of our viewing area will receive a few raindrops. So here's kind of the setup. Want to show you the future cast, kind of that big picture perspective. So cold front passed through. It's opening up the door for cooler, drier northerly air. High pressure gives us gorgeous weather to look forward to. But notice this cold front. It's off to the west of us. It's going to bring some severe weather across the mid-south this upcoming weekend. And it kind of starts to develop today, but it seems like the worst of it will be as we're heading into Friday and Saturday. That same cold front is heading our direction. However, once it reaches us, it loses a lot of its momentum. We'll be watching it though, because it's going to bring 3 back-to-back days of that severe weather risk across parts of the country, with Saturday being the worst of it. As we pause time, you can see the Storm Prediction Center has this part of the country highlighted. The orange is likely where we're going to see the most amount of severe storms. We're talking about tornadoes, strong damaging winds, hail, and this is not uncommon. I used to actually live and forecast in Arkansas, and that's going to be the bullseye of this.
You've been here, there, and everywhere.
I kind of have. It makes things fun. But when we're talking about severe weather, we typically see those 2 different times of the years, the 2 different seasons. So springtime severe weather season, a lot of people who live in the South, you know about that. But the secondary one is in fall, even for us in the Carolinas. So if you're new to the area, it's not going to be out of the question and within the next now up until the next couple of months for us to see some of those stronger storms to form. So again, once that cold front hits the mid-south, severe thunderstorms that could produce tornadoes and some very damaging weather this weekend. Once it heads to the Carolinas, goes over the mountains, loses its strength, and while we definitely do not need any of that severe weather, we could definitely use some rain. Now only that 30% chance of rain on Sunday, and again, kind of just putting that into perspective a little bit more, that high pressure in place for the weekend. Saturday looks great, lots of things going on. Maybe you're taking the family to the pumpkin patch. Be a good weekend to do that. Sunday, if any of those rain showers do make their way towards our direction, then it would likely be after sunset. And again, just a small overall chance of that. I do want to show you our Jerry Hunt Super Center 7-day forecast here. Sunny skies, mid-70s today and tomorrow, and then the Charlotte Checkers are at home tomorrow. I've never been to one of those games. Have you?
It's so fun. Yes.
It is?
Yes.
Like, I need to experience it.
It's a great time. The Checkers are our minor league hockey team, and the promotions they do, it's just so much fun. Like, they have fun with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They, like, at least with the promotions, they don't take themselves too seriously, which makes everybody, like, you know.
Good vibes.
Amps
good
energy. Yeah.
Okay. And then Saturday, Charlotte FC at home, 82 degrees for a high, should be pretty comfortable at night as well. And then Sunday, looking at more cloud coverage, a little bit cooler, but again, this is not going to be widespread or heavy rain or anything like that. Monday morning, starting out the day back into the 40s, and then we're kind of just on track to above average temperatures. We should be at 73 degrees. That's our average, and as you can see, nearly every day will be just slightly above that.
Okay. So if I have a weenie dog meetup, because I have a wiener dog.
Yes.
On Sunday, I don't have to worry about rain, because he is not a water dog.
I don't think you should have to worry about it.
Perfect.
I mean, here's the thing. The rain showers that we're looking at on Sunday, they're going to be very just scattered.
Right, it's 30,
and it will be,
30%.
if it happens, and he might have to deal with it for just like a little while.
He has a rain jacket,
and
so he'll be
then
fine.
put the rain jacket on, and it'll be quick, and it'll be done.
Okay,
it's not going to be the most
perfect.
beautiful day, but really, I think it'll be fine.
Great.
That's so fun. A wiener dog meetup.
Yes, they're once a month, and you get to see. And now it's just growing and growing. Now
Yeah.
there's like 50 or 60 wiener dogs out there.
Where
just
do you
running
guys
around.
meet up?
We change every time. Like it can be. I think this one we're gonna be at a park in Uptown this time, but sometimes we're in Concord, sometimes we're in Pineville.
How did you meet this group? Do they have one for Great Danes? Because
I'm sure they do. I'm sure
I need
you
to
just
find
Google.
one.
You just got to go on the Google, girl.
Okay.
I was at
Get on the Google, girl.
I was at a Knights game, a Bark in the Park,
Yeah.
like when I first got Turkey, and
his name's Turkey?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you did. Yes, my dog's name is Turkey. He's an adorable wiener dog, but I was walking him around the park there, the ballpark, and someone told me about it, and then it's just kind of like word of mouth, and it's
Okay.
grown and grown and grown.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Great Danes have a meetup.
Do you
I'd
ever get
imagine.
him confused with any of the other ones? Like if
Oh,
they're all
no.
together, like playing or running, or is there ever a time where they're all off their leash running?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. They're all like
And
in
you,
the
your
dog
mama,
park.
so you know.
I'm well. First of all, he's kind of attached to me. He's never too far. Like
Okay.
he'll stray a little bit, but he wants to come right back to me.
Okay,
And also,
yeah.
he's also the longest dog usually at the meetup.
Really?
He's a long wiener dog. He's usually one of the biggest ones and the longest ones, so I could spot him from a mile.
That
away.
is funny.
Yes.
That's so fun, though. I think that'll be fun.
It'll be a great time. Well, thank you so much, Majestic.
You're welcome.
We're holding it down.
Do you need my help with anything else?
No. You know
Okay.
what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a break. This is a great time to take a break. So we'll be back in 2 minutes. Thank you for sticking with us here on Live Impact News. I am Carly Bragg. Again, Nick will be here in a few minutes, so don't worry, he will be here. But in the meantime, I wanted to share an interview that Nick and I had the opportunity to do yesterday. You might know that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, where we honor those who are going through the fight, have gone through the fight. Yesterday, we got to talk to a woman who went through the fight herself and came out on the other end as a survivor. She's an absolute delight. She did all this while working full-time as a USPS postal worker. She's an absolute delight. So let's listen in to that interview.
Back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus, I'm Nick Sturdivant. Carlene Bragg is here in studio. We have a special guest. Before we introduce the special guest, so October, if you know, I'm pretty sure you know, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It is a great time to share the stories. Again, be aware, get your checkup. All the things. This is what this month, I mean, you should be doing this year round, but this month really highlights that. And we have a woman who has been in Charlotte for some time. I mean, she's pretty much a Charlottean at this point. From New York, made history in Virginia, Roanoke, Virginia. We'll get into that a little later. Works for the Postal Service. And does some big things for the Postal Service. A great woman. We got a chance to chat for a little bit, but also a breast cancer survivor, Deshauna Harley. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing well. Okay, all right. So we talked about it. Let's go in order. You're from New York.
Yes.
Came here to Charlotte in 2001.
Yes, 2001. Yes, with my two sons.
Oh
yes.
man.
Yeah, came here.
What was it about Charlotte?
Clean, pretty, and cheaper.
Oh man!
Yeah.
And you've been with the United States Postal Service for how long?
28 years.
28 years. How did
Yes.
you get into that career?
I got into it because my dad and my mom worked in the post office also.
Uh-huh.
My dad was the plant manager. Actually, one of the positions he had was a plant manager at Charlotte, and I would come visit him.
Yeah.
And that's what made me fall in love with Charlotte. So I took my two sons, left New York, because I could transfer from New York to
Right.
Charlotte with the post office. So that's what I did, and came down here and made Charlotte my home.
Oh man! So in the years that you've been with the post office, you said you never miss a day of work. So you must really, really enjoy your job.
Yes, I do. I love my job. I'm grateful for my job, and I love my job, and I love coming to work, and that's why I have over 2,300 hours of sick leave.
What keeps you going every day, each day?
I love working. I love the people,
Yeah.
the customers.
Because I tried to get you to use a sick day. I was a bad influence.
Yeah, he did. It didn't work. It didn't work. I'm coming to work. I love my job. I love dealing with the public, and I love my employees. I love working
man.
with them. I really do. I enjoy teaching and training and coaching all employees.
It's the
do.
people.
Yes, it's about the people.
You can't. I feel like you can't do that job without a love for people.
That's correct.
Because you see it. You probably see it all. Deal
Yes.
with it all.
Yes, I've seen it all, been through it all, but I love my job, and I love what I do.
I want to highlight, and I mentioned this earlier, you were surprised when I brought it up, made history, first black woman to be postmaster in Roanoke, Virginia.
Yes.
When you got the job, and when you found out that, what was that like? That was back in 2020.
That was 2020. It was during the pandemic, and I felt special. I felt like I was a part of history. I know it's a small thing to some people, but it was a big thing to me and my family. And they actually had a celebration that my family and my close friends came to, and it made me feel really good and really something that, like part of my legacy.
Yeah.
So like because I have 6 grandchildren. Yes, I do.
6? You're a grandmother? You are not a grandmother. Stop it.
Yes, I am. I'm a grandmother. So my great grands, and they can Google their grandma and see that she was the first black female postmaster of Roanoke, Virginia.
That is not a small thing.
No,
That
it's
is not
not.
a small thing. So, you had that achievement, but you're also a breast cancer survivor.
Yes.
When were you diagnosed?
March 21st, 2022.
Oh, man.
And,
So that's pretty recent.
Yes. It was my normal mammogram. I go every year in March. And thank God I did. I never missed my mammograms because it wasn't a lump. It was something called calcium deposits,
Okay.
which can only be seen on a mammogram. So not all breast cancer can be felt. Some of it has to be seen. You actually have to have a mammogram for them to see it. So that's
wow.
a mammogram saved my life because they caught it at stage 1. And I had to go through chemo. I had to go through 6 rounds of chemo for every 6 weeks. But by the grace of God, I'm in remission. I'm not considered cancer-free till it's been 5 years.
Okay.
But I had a lumpectomy, and they found nothing. My lymph nodes, they found nothing.
Oh, man.
And despite all that I went through, I still wanted to come to work, and I wanted to. No, I love work. I love people, and I love helping. That's a part of me that and the post office helped me go through my journey with breast cancer, and I'm very grateful for my job. They treated me well. They worked with me. I had no issues. Whatever I needed, they did. So I have nothing but great things to say about the Postal Service. And in my great sick leave and the great insurance I had, I didn't have any worries.
Oh wow! Like you said, we chatted before the interview. It kept your mind off of everything that was going on.
Yes.
I mean, when you were at work, did you even think about what was happening at all?
No, I was thinking about work and and just trying to enjoy what I do and keep that off my mind.
How did you, this is a two-part question, how did you hold everything down family-wise? You have the kids, you have the grandkids, and how did they help you through this journey?
My mother, she still lives in New York, but she came down and was with me the whole time that I was going through chemo.
Oh, man.
So my mom,
shout out to Mom.
She was retired, but she came to help take care of me and my family. So my mother is, I love her. She's awesome.
Oh, now you got to shout her out.
She's an awesome woman.
You got to shout her out by name.
Diane Harley in New York is my mommy, and she's an awesome woman of God. She's an awesome woman, and everyone loves her. And my sons, I have two sons, and they took it hard. They actually were kind of. It was difficult for them to see their mother go through that. They used to see me strong and. Just nothing bothers me. I'm always healthy. I'm always good. And to see me go through that, it was rough for them. But my mother held it together.
I mean, look, I understand because mamas are strong. Y'all deal with a lot. Y'all got a lot going on. Y'all hold it down. Y'all don't even complain. Y'all might complain a little bit, but that's just out of frustration. But like y'all hold it down, and so I understand your sons. I mean, I get it. I would be torn up too, but you came out on the other side. I do want to mention this: the breast cancer research stamp that the Postal Service offers. Such a unique stamp. We have it right here on the screen. You can see it right here on the side. What does that mean? I mean, not a lot of companies, for folks dealing with breast cancer, going through treatment, could say, look, place I work with, directly impacting when it comes to research and it comes to finding a cure for breast cancer.
And that's why I love working for the Post Office, because they care about us as employees. We're not. They care about our health. And that's why one of the things, like we everywhere in the United States, you're going to see lobbies decorated, contests to see who will sell the most stamps, to kind of get everybody involved and engaged in the selling of breast cancer stamps. So it's a wonderful thing, and like I said, I'm very proud for the organization that I work for. And to be a breast cancer survivor, it's great to see that. And I always, even before I had breast cancer, I always buy the breast cancer stamp, always.
Oh man, this is an amazing piece of work, and I got a chance to read a little bit about it. I do want to ask you, what do you tell women out there? And breast cancer doesn't just affect women; it affects men as well. But for women specifically, as I read, some women are afraid to get checked.
Yes, and surprisingly, because of what I went through, I found out a lot of people friends and people I work with that hadn't had mammograms in years.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm like, I was telling everybody, get it now, go now. And now people that I know, friends and coworkers, and I tell them, did you get your mammogram yet? I bug them to make sure that they're getting their mammogram every year, because it's so important. Because I'm telling you, it saved my life. I mean, making sure I go every year. And like I said, breast cancer is not all the same, and that it saved my life. I mean, stage 1, and I'm good, and I'm healthy, and I had a great Novant Health, can I say that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Health,
Give them a shout out.
breast cancer team was awesome. They
Shout
were
out to
awesome.
Novant.
Yes, they were awesome.
We got friends up there at Novant. They're good people up there at Novant.
Yes, they were awesome. My nurse, I had a nurse named Vicky. She was with me through the journey. She was awesome. They assign you someone. Yeah. So it was awesome.
Oh man, I've done a couple of cancer-related stories with Novant, and to hear from the doctors, man, and the relationship they build, and the nurses, the relationship you build with. Can you talk about that relationship that you build with your doctors and the nurses there?
Yes. They were so good to me. They called me, they checked on me, to the point when my last chemo, I was gonna miss them. Even though I was happy to do that, ringing the bell.
I'm happy not to see you
I was
again.
happy not to see you again, but I missed them because they took so good care of me. I have nothing negative to say. They took really good care of me. They gave me all the information that I needed. They made sure I knew every step. They gave me all the options. They were very honest and open, and they allowed me to have my good day, not just good days, but my bad days.
Yeah.
They were good to me, and I had my Dr. Turk, my surgeon. You couldn't even tell I have a scar. He's awesome.
Wow.
Like, it's just, yeah. I still have my doctor, Dr. Strickland, that I see every 6 months. She's my oncologist.
Yeah.
She's with me until it's been 5 years. But Novant Health, Breast Cancer Center, downtown, awesome. Awesome
man.
team, awesome people.
Carlene, you got anything?
I just wanted to ask, because a lot of time when we talk about breast cancer, a lot of time it kind of runs either in family lines or somebody knows somebody that has breast cancer. But before you were diagnosed, did you have any experience with?
No.
No.
No, I actually had genetic testing, and it's not. I didn't have the gene for it. Like, it's not in my family. The
Wow.
breast cancer doesn't run in my
Wow.
family. Yeah.
I think when we think of cancer, you think,
think
oh,
of-
you
You think
your
the
family.
genealogy
Yes.
with it and the
No.
genetics with
No.
it?
It's
Wow.
no.
So even more important to go get tested
Yes.
because it's
Yeah.
even if it's not in your family, it's
Yeah.
still a possibility.
It's a strong possibility now.
Wow.
Unfortunately, yeah, it really is 1 out of 8. It really is.
What does life look like now post chemo treatment? You're a survivor. Although I know you say you don't get the full clear until 5 years out. But what does life look different now?
Yes, it
Yeah.
does. I don't. She can tell you. I have a very strong personality. It's a nice way to put it. But
No.
but now I'm more calm, and I don't let certain things get to me anymore like I used to, and I appreciate the small things, and I try to make the best out of everything now. So I have a better outlook on life because I feel like I was given a second chance because I could have been one of the ones that didn't make it. So
Oh man.
yes.
Woo. All right,
Yeah.
Tashonda Harley, I'm so glad that you are here, that you're here now.
Yes.
Here for your grandkids, here for your mother, here for your sons. And I'm thankful that you're here in studio to talk with us.
Thank you.
I'm sure a lot of folks are going to learn a lot from your story. Go get checked.
Yes, absolutely.
Just so much. Go get a stamp.
Yes.
Breast
Go buy a
cancer
stamp.
research.
Yes. Go get a
buy the
stamp.
Go
Yeah,
buy the
we all need
stamp.
stamps.
Yeah.
It's a good cause.
Good cause. A good cause.
And they're forever stamps, so the price, even the price stamps goes up, it doesn't matter. That stamp is good
It
forever.
stays
Even
there.
better.
It's good
Even better.
forever. Yes.
Oh man, thank you for your time. Thank you
Thank
for stopping in. I told you it'd be the easiest thing you do all day. now you just got to call
Now you
out
gotta go
work.
do the hard part. Now you gotta go back to work.
Call out work.
You got plenty
This
of
is
hours.
not live. Call out work. Call out of work. No, I'm joking. Tashonda, thank you for your
Thank
time.
you.
All right, we're gonna head to break. 2 minutes. We'll be right back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus.
Thank you.
Oh man, Tashonda was so lovely.
I said it before. She's an
Yeah.
absolute delight.
Yeah, I loved her, and she was. Okay, we like to,
We peel
give
back
you
the curtain here.
Peel back the curtain. She was a little nervous.
She was.
I understand. Look, there are a lot of people that come in here nervous.
Yeah, there's a lot of lights and
Yeah, a
too,
lot,
and like
yeah.
the cameras. I mean, you can't really. They're close to your face.
Yeah,
so
they
you're
are.
right up in there.
You see yourself like right
Right
here. I have the fortune of I'm like right here. Like my screen is like right here on the
Right.
side, so I don't really have to look at myself if I don't want
Sure.
to. But yeah, no, it was a great time. Also, good morning.
Good morning.
I came in here a little late, had
Good
some
morning,
stuff I needed to
Nicholas.
handle.
I understand. Well, Majestic also told me you ran 11 miles this morning.
I did run 11.
11? Nick, are you crazy?
A little bit. Look, I'm training for Charlotte Half Marathon.
Which I
Yeah.
applaud you, but like you have to work
Yeah, I have to
after
work, but-
after you run.
But I got some
And I know
stuff.
you know that, but
Yeah, I got some stuff going on Friday morning.
Right.
I got some stuff going on Saturday morning. So I was like, I don't
You
know
gotta
where
get
I'm going to
your
get that
long
long
run
run
in.
in. I like doing it before the heat. Well, the heat
right,
of the
but when
day.
heat comes in, yeah.
And everybody likes to run around the same, like 7, 8 o'clock.
Is it crowded when you run?
Oh man, it is crowded, and there are a lot of dog. So I just
Of course, yeah.
yeah. So I got started early. It was good. Yeah. 11 miles. Yeah.
But you're here.
I'm here.
I told them I'd hold it down, and I did.
I think there was some panic out there.
Yeah, well, because the newsroom, I know that y'all are listening. Not everybody in the newsroom knew, so all of a sudden they see my face and they're like, "Is everything okay?" I'm like, "No, "It's fine."
We held it down. Carly
I can handle
knew.
it.
We knew about
Your
this
girl had it
days in
covered.
advance. Days in advance, we knew. We knew. And I'm happy to be here.
Happy to have you.
Thank you.
Welcome to work.
Thank you. I'm here. It's on time. Let's take a break. Do you want to take a break?
Let's take a break.
All right. I know I just hopped on the stream, but we're going to take a break. We're going to take a 2-minute break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. All right, welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. Carlene Bragg is here with me. Super producer Carlene Bragg is here. So we had the pleasure of interviewing Anthony Hamilton yesterday.
It's a big get.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I just want to kind of, we didn't get a chance to debrief about it.
Not really. We had to move on to the next thing, the next thing.
We were busy yesterday.
Yeah.
We were busy again today, but we were really
had a lot of good
busy.
interviews.
We had a lot of stuff happening. Your thoughts on the interview, like how your sort of takeaway?
I got teary-eyed there at the
Yeah.
end. I did
Yeah.
say that because he kind of talked about, well, spoiler alert, the
Yeah.
last time he spoke to D'Angelo.
Yeah.
And it got me.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks.
And he never, I mean, he found out the news 2 weeks ago that how long he had been well, I guess he if I remember correctly, he found out that he had cancer 2 weeks ago. That Anthony Hamilton found out that D'Angelo had cancer. But you never, to take away from the conversation is like you never would have known that he was sick.
No.
And they, Anthony Hamilton
fighting in silence.
Yeah.
Yeah. To those close, even though close to him. I mean, they're close.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, you just, for somebody who lived his life in the public because he was a recording artist. Granted, you know, if you know his story, he kind of drew away from the public eye for more than a decade. But for the majority of his career, he's been in the public eye. To fight that battle in private and to be there with his family, I'm sure that meant a lot to his family.
Yeah.
And that's commendable. I understand.
Yeah.
Like that is a tough go.
Yeah.
That cancer journey is a tough go.
Right.
We all have people in our lives who have battled cancer, and that is no easy feat. So
No.
I totally understand why he didn't tell. It reminds me of Chadwick Boseman.
That's it calls back to that to me
Yeah.
too. That just didn't tell a soul, and except for those closest
Right.
to him.
Right, and I understand. So there were a lot of memories, and I'm still going through some of the posts from people who knew D'Angelo, and they're sharing incredible stories.
Yeah.
So when he shot his first music video, back in the mid '90s in his hometown of Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, okay. Not too far.
In a market area, it was like a CVS, and there was like a different sort of shops there.
Mm-hmm.
It was sort of iconic there in that part of Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
He shot it there. Just the intentionality in his artwork.
Right.
And somebody put it, and by the day, I keep thinking about, I'm like, man, artist-wise, who does he remind? D'Angelo was one-on-one, but, and this is not an original thought, but D'Angelo reminds me of a guy like Al Green. So my first sort of exposure to soul music was Al Green. Mm-hmm. My father was a huge, like my first music memories, B.B. King and Al Green. Mm-hmm. And my father was like in love with Al Green.
Right.
Like Al Green to my father's generation is what D'Angelo meant to a generation of people. Both like you may not understand, may not hear the lyrics clearly, but you felt it.
They're intentional.
Oh man, you're talking about hit you right there in the soul, right there in the heart.
Right.
It was spiritual. Mm-hmm. You're talking about love music. That was love. Kind of like we were talking about George Strait.
Yeah, George Strait for me is it's more than just like, oh, he's my favorite artist of all time. It's like what we said. It's a feeling. Like I can't put my finger on it. Maybe it's a little bit nostalgia driven. Maybe it takes you back to a time. It takes you back to a time. It's just It's bigger than bigger than just I like his music. And that's what great art does. That's what great musicians do. So yeah, we said all that to say that we had Anthony Hamilton on the program. Thank you again to his team, and thank you again to Anthony Hamilton. So let's get now to that interview. Carlene and I's interview with Anthony Hamilton on the legacy of D'Angelo. All right, so tributes continue to pour in for the legend himself, D'Angelo, Grammy Award-winning singer, soul singer. Man, I was telling Carlene earlier when we were on a break how I was kind of fumbling through the tribute, trying to sort of come up with something to talk about D'Angelo. I grew up with his music, and I just couldn't. I was just fumbling. Right. Meant a lot to you. Yeah, and what I was saying, what I eventually kind of landed on is just his music made you feel something, and great artists make you feel something, and that's what I would say about D'Angelo. He made you feel something. He made you feel the love in his music. Everybody can relate to that. Yeah. A guy whose music makes you feel something. Grammy Award-winning artist, singer, songwriter, actor, Anthony Hamilton, Charlotte's own Anthony Hamilton. Man, thank you so much for stopping by the program.
No problem, man. It's good to be on.
Yeah, man. When you heard the news, I just want to get your reaction, man. First, before that, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm, it's something that's a little strange to me, but because it happened so fast, from me knowing that he was battling until the time of his demise. It was pretty quick for me. So I'm kind of numb in a way.
I guess how long did you know, if you're willing to share, how long did you know that he was sick?
Well, my manager said it started last June when he really got diagnosed with stage 4.
Yeah.
And but he only told me maybe a week ago. Mm-hmm. Wow. Because being on tour, it can affect you being on tour. It's in your mind and it's in your spirit. And he wanted me to just be able to focus without having that pain.
Man, you sang background for the brother D'Angelo. I was telling one of our producers, you're actually in the Send It On video.
Yes.
I told him, if you look close, you see Anthony Hamilton there. He sang background. What do you remember from that time?
I remember it's like one of the best times I've ever had. It was a moment where, not being a college kid, I went to barber styling school, but this was my first chance to be in something that seemed like a university of musicians at a top tier, where you had Roy Hargrove, D'Angelo, Questlove, Pino Palladino, James Poise, all these amazing guys, and you have access to this talent on a level that you couldn't even pay for that. So to be able to be in there and learn as much as I could and take in as much as I could, it only made me better. And I owe it all to D'Angelo for seeing something in me that he felt was worthy of being a part of something so incredibly immersed in something that organic and real. You know,
How did you wrap your mind around that? I mean, you talking about, you listed some heavy hitters right there, man.
yeah. Well, Ben, you know, I'm a country boy, so it's all a celebration for me. Whether it's been one or two of those guys, it was a big deal. Coming from just dreaming to be a part of the music business, and then being submerged into just a bucket, a bowl, a sea of the greatest. You know, all these guys have gone on and to do amazing stuff, and we're doing amazing things before I even came to see D'Angelo. So I learned a lot about a lot of these guys: Frank Root Lacey, Russell Gunn, Dante Winslow. All these guys are doing great things around the world, and to be a part of that, it goes to show me that the things that I doubted about myself was indeed the thing that God intended to be special to somebody else.
I've been seeing a lot of the tributes for D'Angelo. Obviously, I've said it before, I'm a big fan. One of the things that sticks out, and I've heard D'Angelo, I heard Bilal say this, Neo Soul, they don't like that label, Neo Soul, but I continue to hear that. D'Angelo is always, he's been very, he's like, look, I do black music. I am a black artist. I do black music. When you hear the label throwing out Neo Soul, what comes to mind? What do you say to that?
In the beginning, I didn't like it either. I felt like it was just something they wanted to put on us as a title, as a pigeonhole, to pigeonhole us in a spot, in a particular category. When our music is infused with everything from jazz to gospel to blues to hip hop to everything. And so being a purist and loving music from a pure place, you don't want to be put into something that you don't understand. You don't want to, how it originated, the Neo Soul, it's come out of nowhere. It's like, it's this alien title, and you try to put me in. I don't even know what the hell it means. So, I can understand that, but over time you get to know, okay, Neo means new or whatever. So you learn to pick and choose your battles, man. And so that was one. I was like, you know what? Call it whatever you want. But when I hit that stage and I hit that mic, I'm singing, and that's down home.
I know that's right. How would you? And I was struggling to find the words to say and express what D'Angelo's music meant to me. How would you summarize that? How would you describe that?
His music was it was like a segue from some of the greatest old music you've ever heard into the newest sound that you couldn't even fathom. He made you a believer of the things that you couldn't even understand. Just like Prince had the same effect musically, where they could take something so simple, barely open his mouth, barely enunciate his words, and make you feel everything he's ever said or played. So I take it as he was a pioneer ahead of his time, and he was influenced by a pioneer ahead of his time. So it's magic. I think it was magic. It was spirit. It was music, and I'm gonna keep singing it. I'm singing it at my show this weekend. I'm gonna pay tribute to him. Fantasia and myself will be hitting the stage in Atlanta and in Norfolk, Virginia. So being close to home, it's only right that I celebrate this man. Actually, the rest of my career.
Man, as you were saying that, I'm thinking about one of my favorite songs off of Brown Sugar's "Higher." The organ, it sounds like a gospel song. If you close your eyes, you feel like you're in church. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's straight church. I mean, ain't nothing new about that. That's old Baptist, Pentecostal, grandma whoop your butt over a piece of butterscotch type of music. And there's nothing new about that. But he was a new guy doing it, so I can dig it.
I mean, that song, I played that song this morning, and I was like, oh, man, it just hit my spirit. What's the song for you? Is there a song for you that does the same, that gives you the same feeling?
You know, that's one of my favorites. Untitled, How Does It Feel is one of my favorites. Lady. But there's a song called Africa where he speaks to his son. And I was a young father as well, so that song kind of resonated to me a different way. You know, being on the road away from my son, he's getting older, and just the dream of being a father, and just how magical that is in its own. To have a song that kind of, you know, embellish that feeling and kind of serenades that moment in that space in my life, I think that's one of my favorites.
You brought up Untitled, and people love to, and I get it, right, in the video.
Yeah.
But when you hear and shout out to Raphael Sadiq for that song. But when you hear that song, man, the lyrics, if you just hear it, the music, it's just like the song is. Take away the video, the song is just amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's one of those songs that you don't even know if it's starting, if it's ending, if it's finished, if it's going on again, if it's going to play again, is it a song that was born to be on repeat? Whatever it is, you knew it was something that you've never felt in your life. And yeah, you were in for a nice ride, whether it's 7 minutes or 60 minutes. You didn't want it to stop. And being on stage every night, touring the whole world, I mean, from Brazil, we went to all over, man, all over Europe. We toured Europe for a month and a half on a tour bus, double-decker, and Shelby Johnson and Jack King and all these amazing people, man. We had the time of our life. And when that song came on, we knew like it was about to get crazy. I mean, you know, forget throwing panties. They were throwing mattresses and bunk beds and king-size beds. It was a different thing, man.
Oh, man. He was definitely a showman because he would jump into the crowd.
Absolutely. And being a part of that, when it was time for me to take the stage and be the front man, I took from that same cloth, man, and I would go out in the audience, run over chairs, and just got wild. I mean, he gave me the okay that whatever you feel in the moment, whatever is real for you at that moment, do it, feel it, believe it, and don't hold back.
You've been so generous with your time. My last question before we send you out.
No problem at all.
What was that final conversation like with D'Angelo?
You know what? Actually, he called me 2 weeks ago. I was on tour. I was about to go on stage. And I heard the phone, but I was in there getting my wardrobe together. And so I came to the phone. I was like, oh, man, I think that's D'Angelo calling me. So when I called him back, he didn't pick up. So he probably wanted to say something to me at that moment, something special. Probably not even nothing about what he was going through, but just to check on me like he would always do. But the last conversation, he was like, Aunt Jeezy. That's what he called me. Aunt Jeezy, I was calling to check on you. You all right? You good? I said, yeah, man, I'm good. I'm out here on the road. He said, yeah, man. He said, I see you. You're doing your thing, man. Proud of you. Keep at it. Keep it on their neck.
Oh, man. Anthony Hamilton, man. Brother, thank you for your time, man. Thank you for your music. Thank you for everything. Man, you're making Charlotte proud, man. I just want to tell you that.
I appreciate you, man. And so I got one more angel now protecting me, so sky's the limit.
Yes, sir. Anthony Hamilton here. All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Oh, man, an incredible conversation with Charlotte's own, making Charlotte proud, Anthony Hamilton, who's on tour with Fantasia, High Point's own. Fantasia. Yeah, great segment. Thank you for your time again, Anthony Hamilton. All right, so you want to talk a little NASCAR, Carlene? This is your wheelhouse. What do you have your eye on? We've had a couple of interviews, and we actually were kind of recapping the season a little bit yesterday, and we kind of got lost in the season because we were like, wait, is Vegas this weekend?
Vegas was last weekend.
I know, but we were like, Roval just kind of snuck up on us.
It kind of steamrolls at this time of year.
Man.
Well, I was talking about it with Jane.
Yeah.
Like October's just busy. You've got
yeah.
You got October baseball. You've got
The heart of
football. You've got basketball starting up. College football.
MLS here.
MLS. You've got hockey starting up.
Yep,
everything.
Everything
is happening, and NASCAR playoffs are happening. So like, it gets lost in the sauce, if you know what I mean. Like, everything kind of just blends.
Right. It's just like, oh my goodness, time? I don't have enough, and it's an NFL game tonight.
Like I think about our sports team during this time.
Oh
like
man,
October.
October
a
is
headache.
A headache.
I mean, it's exciting, but
it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
We have a lot happening here. So recently, we had him on the program, Christopher Bell, but he was recently with our content partners in Greensboro, WFMY, talking about the NASCAR playoffs. He was actually in Greensboro.
Yeah.
Where's Christopher Bell from again? Do you know?
He has a house here.
Okay.
But he's originally from Oklahoma. I want to say.
Okay.
Off
But
the top of my head.
he does
Yes.
have a okay.
Yeah, I think he's primarily here, but I think he's from Oklahoma.
That's right, because I asked
Let me
him
double
about.
check before I just spew out lies here. Yes, Norman, Oklahoma.
Okay. Because I asked him, was it Roval? I know we were doing a couple of preview interviews. Things go things kind of blend together. But yeah, I was asking him about Roval and it kind of being like, an easier trip for him because he can go, hey.
And he's also very good at it. So like he's sitting well in the standings. I don't know. He's third in point standings.
I was about to say third in point standings right now. Shout out to him.
He's sitting pretty.
The next race is in what?
Talladega. Which is
Ooh.
always a good time. It's a good race, and it's always a party out there. I want to go to Talladega so bad.
And after that, it's Martinsville, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to Martinsville, actually.
Okay. You're going to Martinsville?
It's not that far of a drive from here.
It's not. But
I will be there. Get those hot dogs.
But you usually don't. Usually, you say, "Hey, I'm going to going to race." I feel like this is kind of under the radar.
Well, to be honest, I just found out about it.
Okay, that's fair. We're learning in real time.
I'm also learning. Greg's last minute about things. He's like, "Oh, we're going to Martinsville." Okay.
Let me put you up. If you see Carlene at Martinsville,
wave. Say hi. Say, hey, girl.
Stand in line for you to get a hot dog.
I will.
Maybe?
Yeah. Actually, I usually send Greg to get the hot dogs, and I sit there because you gotta get. And then when you go, you get like 6 at a time because
maybe you can. Greg can take a seat, and then somebody else can.
Hey, if you'd like to get me a hot dog, I'll take it. They are delicious. It's that they're known for is iconic. It's and the grandfather clocks, of course. That's what the driver wins. At Martinsville.
It's such a cool track.
It's such a cool track.
I've always passed by it. I've never actually been
It has
inside.
such history there. It's cute. It's quaint. I do like Martinsville a lot.
Favorite track?
My favorite track is Bristol.
Okay.
In Bristol, Tennessee. It's a short track. So
I've heard good things about
it. It's exciting because short track racing is exciting because there ain't no room to.
They play football games.
Essentially, yes. Yeah. It's a lot of strategy. It's a lot of like bumping and grinding and
Oh man.
But I love Martinsville for when we're there. It's nice. It's just like a nice setting.
Our sports team has been busy, but Carlene has been busy the month of October. I just want to point that out, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Let's get to the interview now with Christopher Bell with our content partners in Greensboro, WFMY.
Well, buckle up, NASCAR fans. We are going full throttle on the road to the championship. The nation's top drivers are coming off a big race in Vegas, and the pressure's on heading into Talladega this weekend and Martinsville the following week. In the hot seat is Joe Gibbs Racing's Christopher Bell. He joins us live this morning in studio. Thanks for taking time to be here.
Absolutely. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so what brings you to Greensboro?
We're here on a little promotional tour, helping out Martinsville Speedway. We've got a really big race coming up next weekend. It is the round of 8 finisher to decide the final 4 going in for that championship event at Phoenix Raceway.
And that's going to be a big event for you. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first things first, Talladega this coming weekend. We are not expecting great weather. What are you anticipating weather-wise on a track that is already pretty tricky?
Yeah, well, that's just going to add more chaos to the element there at Talladega Superspeedway. That event, that race is always super unnerving, I guess, or nerving for a driver because
Yeah.
you have so much out of your control. There's always pack racing. You can see 3 and 4 wide action, normally lots of crashes. And anytime you have a threat of weather, it makes the drivers just push that much harder. So you never know what you're going to get at Talladega.
You are well positioned right now, coming off your third consecutive third-place finish. Of course, you're hoping for a win heading into this weekend, but with 2 races left in this stage before Phoenix, how do you use that pressure you just talked about to your advantage?
Yeah, it's tough, but I think everyone in this round of 8 right now is pushing super hard, and they know, and all of us know, that if you're not racing for the win, if you're not competing for the win and scoring a bunch of points, then you're going to be the one on the outside looking in. So, yeah, it's all steam ahead right now, and we know that this is an important time of year, and you got to lay it all on the line.
Let's talk about Martinsville. I know somewhat of a sore subject for you.
A little bit.
Yeah, fast approaching again, though. Last year, things did not go your way. You had that ride on the wall the last lap. A NASCAR safety penalty cost you a spot in the championship 4. Have you made peace with what happened?
I will tell you what, I have been looking forward to this moment, getting back to Martinsville Speedway for the last 12 months. So we're positioned better than we ever have been, and I feel super excited about the opportunity. We had a great race at Martinsville in the spring, so I think we're poised for a great run coming up here next week.
Yeah, you mentioned that second place finish in Martinsville in March, the Cookout 400. What'll be your strategy on that track in the Xfinity?
Yeah, so the Martinsville track is just so different compared to what we're going to be doing at Talladega Superspeedway. So tire wear is a lot bigger deal. You're going to have to be making more pit stop. Fuel strategy is less of a deal at Martinsville with it being a little bit shorter of a track. So strategy is going to be all over the map for sure.
Do you anticipate ever coming back to North Wilkesboro Speedway? You had a big win there earlier this year.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Next year, they've actually announced that NASCAR is going to have a points race next year for the first time in a long time. So North Wilkesboro Speedway is obviously going to have a special place in my heart, winning the All-Star race there this year, and I'm excited to go back for a points race in 2026.
Let's talk about something viewers might be familiar with. It happened in September after that 7th place finish at Gateway. You took to the radio to express, I know, with some expletives.
You're hitting all the sore spots here.
Well, your frustration, giving you a chance to talk about it. You know, how were you and your team able to work through some of that frustration and get this momentum now going into this weekend?
So I'll start by saying I'm so proud of how my team, took that, and it's not one of my favorite moments of my career. Normally I'm really calm and keep to myself and don't have moments like that. But my team responded in an excellent way. And since that moment at Gateway, that outburst on the radio, my team has showed up and we've been performing extremely well. And everything's been going really good. So I think it's a true testimony to this 20 team that I drive for, and they are true professionals.
Yeah, every professional athlete, of course, has moments. It's how you respond to those moments that really matters and leaves an impact. So I appreciate you acknowledging and you saying that. Let's talk about after the playoffs for you, hopefully the Cup Series championship, right?
That would
but
be
what's
awesome.
next for you and your wife? Even off the track, you just had that big Netflix documentary. Is Hollywood calling?
I don't think so. I love my job being a race car driver, but I will say the NASCAR schedule is so tough, and we're closing in right up to the end of it, and I am excited to take a little bit of time off and just recoup, and whenever Phoenix is over, hopefully we're celebrating a championship, but regardless of what happens, we're going to be taking some time off and enjoying some recovery.
We have so many racing fans here, so many young people who really see you as an incredible role model. What is your messaging to them as they maybe consider getting into racing or just support the sport?
Yeah, I certainly it means a lot to me whenever I have young kids come up and ask for advice or whatever. And the best advice that I can give them is keep after it. And everybody goes through tough times, whether it's driving race cars or playing sports, anything like that. You gotta stay after it. You gotta keep digging. And if it's something you want to do and pursue, you need to push hard towards that.
Christopher Bell, thanks so much for your time and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right.
I don't know, Carlene. I like his chances.
I like his chances too.
So,
He's always the bridesmaid. We said this in an interview. It's like he's been in the championship 4 for the past, I can't, a couple years,
Yeah.
2 years. He's always the bridesmaid.
Right there.
He's right there.
And
He's
you
very talented.
Surprising me with his age.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not. I guess we don't have to say his age.
We can't. I mean, it's all, you can Google it. He's 30 years old.
Okay, you can't Google it.
we're not
Adding a
some
level
big
of
secret.
suspense on the show.
But yeah, I mean, he's been around for a time. I mean, he won the championship in the trucks. So
Yeah.
now it's time to get one with the big boys.
It'll come. I think
for
he has
sure.
what Denny Hamlin has the lead right now, right?
Yes, he's the lead.
Which that's gonna be tough.
That's gonna be tough.
I like his chances though.
Yeah.
I like his chances. Okay, all right. Well, shout out to Christopher Bell and everybody in the playoff race.
We'll see how he does in Dega.
We'll see. We'll see.
It's a tough track.
Man, it's a tough track. It's
exciting for the fans. It's a tough for the drivers.
I can't even imagine how they're feeling right now. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back here in 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. All right, welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturtevant. We are now in day 16 of the government shutdown, and happening right now. I actually got to the podium. House Speaker Mike Johnson, along with GOP leaders, are speaking regarding the shutdown. This has been a daily routine since the beginning of the shutdown. Let's take a listen into what Speaker Johnson is saying.
Congress have voted to close the government, and we know what that means for real people. We know what it means for our troops and our Border Patrol agents and TSA agents and air traffic controllers and everybody who relies upon services around the country. It's very real. And so today marks yet another day of American families feeling the very real personal and economic strain of this reckless decision that our Democrat colleagues keep making. They want the United States government to remain closed, and they seem not to care about the pain that it's causing. They have offered no plan. They have offered no strategy. They have offered no common sense path forward for ending this situation. And so many of you have asked all of us, how will it end? We have no idea. It's up to the Democrats, and they have to decide it. And judging by their outrageous behavior, the Democrats appear perfectly happy to keep the political theater going while real people suffer. And that's why House Republicans made the responsible decision for our members to spend this week in their districts working for the people. They're helping their constituents. They're helping the American people navigate the mess that the Democrats have created. Staying back to work with our constituents was a decision that we made very thoughtfully, and we made collectively as a group, House Republicans. We have so much of that work to do. That's not some talking point. It's not some strategic tactic. We made that decision out of urgent necessity. So I want to highlight here just this morning, just very briefly, just a couple of examples, a small sample of some of the very important work that House Republicans are doing on the ground right now to help Americans through this difficult time. In the state of Michigan, for example, our members are sitting down with veterans, men and women who risked their lives for our country, and they're struggling now because the services they depend on, health services, for example, have come to a halt thanks to the Schumer shutdown. So in Michigan, our Republicans from the House are there working through those situations. In Texas, many of our Republican colleagues have met with some of our brave Border Patrol agents down on that southern border who are still reporting for duty without a paycheck. In Montana, Congressman Ryan Zinke helped park rangers who are keeping the parks open as best they can for families and travelers, even as they themselves go without a paycheck. Across the Midwest, we have members who are meeting with local and regional airports to hear firsthand how furloughs and blocked paychecks there are hurting the people who keep our skies safe. Really important stuff. In rural communities around the country, Republicans are working hand in hand with their local hospitals to make sure that the $50 billion rural hospital fund that Republicans got signed into law in July 4th is accessed. It reaches the people who need it. And they're doing that work while the Democrats are demanding to kill that essential fund that is in their counterproposal for the CR, one of the many outrageous things they've claimed they want to do. And everywhere across America right now, we're helping small business owners and farmers and ranchers and service coordinators navigate frozen loans and delayed emergency funds and growing uncertainty about how to keep serving their communities. So all across the country, Republicans are dealing with the very real and painful consequences facing real Americans. Now, that's happening on the Republican side. And what's happening on the Democrat side? You can see it for yourself. Compare what I just told you with what they're doing. Look at their own behavior. Look at their actions. Don't listen to the words that people are saying. Look at what they're doing. Chuck Schumer and Democrats over the last 10 days, here's a small sample of their activity, okay? We've seen performative stunts and TikToks and photo shoots across every inch of this Capitol. We've seen Democrats actually toast themselves on the balcony of the DCCC last night, while their colleagues voted in the Senate to keep the government closed for the 10th time. We've seen not one but two failed publicity stunts right outside my own office, the latest of which ended in a congresswoman storming the entrance and berating a Capitol police officer who, by the way, is protecting her without pay. And last night, we even saw, I didn't see it, many of you saw it, CNN host the first socialist town hall where Bernie Sanders and AOC said the quiet parts out loud. They don't know what they want to end the shutdown. They couldn't provide a single viable solution for the mess that they themselves have gleefully created. And by the way, those are the real leaders of the Democrat Party. We all know it, AOC and Bernie. Good luck with that. And amid all that, Chuck Schumer is actually bragging that every day gets better for his party. As you know, that is his words, not ours. All this would be laughable if it didn't come at the cost of American families, and it really is deadly serious. If it were up to Republicans alone, we would not be in this mess. We'd be up here negotiating and debating openly and transparently on the issues impacting Americans' lives. But as I've said repeatedly, Democrats slammed the brakes on legislative business when they decided to shut down the government for their partisan political purposes. The progress we made on appropriations and the conversations that were underway on the COVID-era Obamacare subsidies and all those issues, all that sits at a standstill until Democrats reopen the government. As soon as 5 Senate Democrats come to their senses and break ranks and turn the lights back on, House Republicans are anxious to get back to legislative session and to pick up our unfinished business. We have a lot yet to do. Until then, I'll continue to share the facts from this podium every morning to try to get this message directly to the American people. Republicans will continue serving on the job in our communities on behalf of the American people that we represent. I'm going to conclude this morning by saying this again. There's an incredible contrast right now between the two parties that could not be more clear. As we say here every day, this is not your grandfather's Democratic Party. It truly has become the far left, Marxist left, that are running that whole operation. And it has real effects on real people. And I just want you to, I'll highlight again the split screen of what we're seeing. In America right now, there are two diametrically opposed visions for the country, And you should look at the actions of elected officials and not their words. And what are the actions? President Trump and Republicans are delivering for the American people. We have cut their taxes. We are removing red tape and regulations to get the economy humming again. We have ended the border crisis, virtually zero crossings in the last 4 months under President Trump. We are ending the crime crisis around America, taking heroic measures to make sure that happens. We're cutting fraud, waste, and abuse out of government and making government more efficient and effective for the people. And right now, President Trump is resolving international conflicts, restoring peace through strength around the globe. That's just a small sampling of what's been done by Republicans in the last 9 months. And what have Democrats done for the last 9 months? On the split screen, look at the other side. They've shut down the government. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Put all the gimmicks and the talking points aside and look at the indisputable facts and evidence of what is happening right here. There could not be a stronger contrast between the two parties. And I don't know how more simply we can say that. With all that, I'm really happy to introduce our good friend from New York. Chairman Andrew Garbarino is the chair of our House Committee on Homeland Security, and he's here with us this morning to tell us a little bit more about the grave consequences of the Democrat shutdown on America's national security. It could not be more serious than it is right now. Andrew, go ahead.
Thank you, Speaker.
Sure.
Thank you, Speaker, and Leader Scalise and Chairman McClain. Thank you all for being here today. The Senate Democrats' decision to shut down this government for cheap political points lacks any common sense and is undermining the Department of Homeland Security's core mission, as well as the people tasked with upholding it. Nearly 95% of DHS's workforce is considered essential, and that's rightfully so. But that means they're at work right now, and they're not getting paid. More than 63,000 CBP personnel, including U.S. Border Patrol, are continuing their steadfast commitment to securing our borders. More than 61,000 TSA personnel are continuing their mission to protect the traveling public and keep the skies safe. More than 8,000 Secret Service personnel are still carrying out their no-fail mission to safeguard our nation's leaders. More than 49,000 U.S. Coast Guard personnel are serving to protect our maritime borders. I'm grateful that President Trump and Secretary Noem are taking steps to ensure that the Coast Guard personnel are getting paid, just like our military during the shutdown. And I appreciate the department's continued work to support frontline law enforcement officers. I think, though, it's also very vital that we ensure that TSA security officers are compensated as well. Just because the government shut down doesn't mean people aren't still flying. We owe all of these men and women at DHS a debt of gratitude for their continued service. But the shutdown is not just about personnel. It's undercutting our Homeland Security posture. A lapse in government funding prevents DHS from moving forward with critical new investments that enable us to stay ahead of rapidly evolving threats. New contracts are put on hold, and proactive engagements with security partners are postponed. Shutdowns also disrupt the disbursement of vital grants from the Homeland Security Department to our state and local law enforcement partners. This undermines preparedness efforts and makes our communities less safe. Voting against the CR also, the Democrats have allowed crucial DHS authorities to expire. One of those is the Cybersecurity Information Sharing Act of 2015. Without that, 90% of our critical infrastructure is owned by private companies. They can't communicate with us right now. They can't tell us when there's a cyber attack because this lapsed. Every second we go without the ability for them to share that information makes us less safe. They've also the counter drone authority has also lapsed. That was in the CR. Without this in place, agencies may not be able to swiftly take down malicious drones before they threaten U.S. airspace. There are dozens more. In short, this shutdown is making our country less safe. And I implore Senate Democrats to do the right thing and reopen the government now. With that, I would like to bring up Leader Scalise.
Thank you. Well, you just heard a very stark, grim reality from Chairman Garbarino of what Chuck Schumer's shutdown is doing to our nation's ability to protect the homeland. The Department of Homeland Security is one of the most critical in terms of our ability to keep Americans safe here at home. And they're doing incredible work. And, you know, fortunately, like Chairman Garbarino said, 95% of the employees are deemed essential, but they're on the job not getting paid. But beyond that, he also pointed out grants are not going out. The sharing of information on things like cybersecurity is not happening. These are real devastating consequences of Chuck Schumer's shutdown. And nobody on the Democrat side can still articulate the reason why they're doing it beyond the obvious. And the obvious reason is Chuck Schumer being scared for his political future. Scared from who? From AOC. And last night, as the speaker mentioned, we saw two of the Democrat Party leaders, Bernie Sanders and AOC, at a forum, town hall, whatever you want to call it, on CNN. And they were laughing, they were guffawing like it's some kind of game. In fact, when AOC was pressed to say, what is it that y'all are shutting the government down over? She couldn't even give an articulate answer. This is what she said, quote, I think we need to see ink on paper. I think we need to see legislation. And I think we need to see these things passed on the floor of the House and Senate and signed by the president. Can anybody tell me what she's talking about? I mean, they filed an alternative bill that everybody knows is not serious, $1.5 trillion in new spending to do, among other things, to gut the rural hospital fund, the $50 billion that we put in place, the largest investment in rural hospitals in our country's history. They want to gut that to give free health care to illegals. That's not going to happen, and that's not a serious proposal. But in fact, when you get back to the heart of the question, and that is Chuck Schumer fighting for his political life in New York, they did ask AOC that question. You know, are you going to primary Chuck Schumer? And she laughed, and Bernie tried to bail her out of the question, but ultimately she wouldn't give a direct response to that, because that's really what this shutdown is about. Is Chuck Schumer afraid of the AOC wing of the party primarying and beating him in New York? And so he's just concerned about his political future, and he's willing to jeopardize the lives of the American people, to jeopardize our homeland security abilities that Chairman Garbarino talked about. These are serious consequences to real people, men and women in uniform, our federal workers that are not getting paid. All for what? For the gibberish you heard last night? They cannot articulate even what they want. We presented a clean CR that Chuck Schumer himself voted for in March. Very straightforward bill to fund the government and open it up just to give us more time to negotiate our differences. Very big differences that we have on policy, but we can't even get to those policy negotiations while Chuck Schumer is shutting down the government. So Senator Thune's doing a great job of trying to find a way to keep bringing the bills back up until one day just 5 more senators on the Democrat side come to their senses and say they're willing to get the government back open so we can resume those negotiations. And we stand ready. We've done our job in the House, and we're ready to get back to work. There's a lot of work stacking up, but while Chuck Schumer keeps the government shut down, it's hurting millions of real families across America. With that, turn it over to our conference chair, Lisa McClain.
Thank you, Leader, and thank you, Rep. Garbarino, for being here and the work that you're doing on the Homeland Security. Here we are. Democrats have shut down your government now for 16 days. So I think we all want to know, what have the Democrats done with all this time on their hands, right? Well, let's see. They've posed for glossy photos outside the Capitol. They've screamed at Capitol police officers who, by the way, they are refusing to pay, right? They've jumped on TV to what looks like an audition to be the next radical in charge after Chuck Schumer. And now they're gearing up for their I Hate America rally this weekend. A rally where they'll cheer for chaos instead of country. So take note of what goes on at that rally. Take note of how they put Americans first, really. Now, let's contrast that with Republicans who are doing what we always do, and that is actually working for the American people. And let me give you some examples, and I know our speaker talked about this, but I think this bears repeating again. Pat Fallon, who was in Texas hosting a town hall. Congressman LaLota connected with more than 8,000 of his constituents in New York doing a teletown hall. Congressman Collins held mobile office hours in Georgia. Congressman Wahlberg in my home state of Michigan brought veterans together in Michigan to tackle problems right now with the VA. Congressman Zinke actually rolled up his sleeves, literally rolled up his sleeves in Montana to help Yellowstone National Park to clean it up. That's the difference. One side delivers solutions and the other are showboats. Republicans passed a clean CR to keep the government open. No gimmicks, no tricks. We actually want to govern. We did our job. And then we got back to work for the people who actually sent us here. Democrats, they saw a shutdown as leverage, as a chance to push for more wasteful spending. And don't take my word for it. Look at what they want to do, $1.5 trillion. You should never use a shutdown as leverage for more wasteful spending. But that's exactly what the Democrats are doing. Well, I have news for them. It's not going to work. Republicans are united behind the work that we've done for the American people. We will not hand out government benefits to illegals on your dime. We will not repeal provisions that cut waste, fraud, and abuse. And we will not cave to Democrats' $1.5 trillion in spending. So it's time for the Democrats to wrap up the photo shoots, stop actually attacking law enforcement, and end the who's more radical contest. Let's pass our clean bill and get back to work for the American people who sent us here. Thank you.
All right, time for questions. Chad, go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, good morning.
Good morning.
I know what Republicans have said, saying the shutdown is because Schumer is afraid of Ocasio-Cortez. There have been questions to Ocasio-Cortez. Schumer saying, is this because you're afraid? Are you going to challenge in a primary? They deny that. I understand the tension here about the shutdown. But just because you're saying that that's the case does not necessarily make that true. When they deny that, why should we continue to say, okay, it's because they're worried about their left flank, or Schumer's worried about Ocasio-Cortez challenging him in a primary?
Well, look, I'll be intellectually consistent.
All right, so you're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturtevant. Right there is House Speaker Mike Johnson along with GOP leaders. They're answering questions right now. Look, we are day 16 in the government shutdown. Senate to vote a 10th time to end the shutdown. So that's where we stand. And let's bring it back here at home. And we are currently right now on the bottom of the screen keeping an eye out on the Senate floor. We are expected to hear from senators at some point, but we are going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturtevant. So we want to get back out now to a press conference that is happening live. This is a live look in D.C. GOP leaders, along with House Speaker Mike Johnson, holding a press conference regarding the government shutdown. Let's take a listen in.
Right. But whoever these young people are, and whatever they're saying, if it's true, we obviously condemn that. And the organizations involved are dealing with that. That's my understanding. With regard to the swastika thing, this happened last night. A Republican congressman, allegedly one of his staffers had something in the background or something in a Zoom. That's what I heard this morning. He says that that's not his, and there's a proper investigation ongoing, and the congressman did exactly what he should have done, and that is report it. It's under investigation, and I can't comment on it any further until that's done, but I will say, obviously, that is not the principles of the Republican Party. We stand for the founding principles of America. You want me to articulate them for you right now? Individual freedom, limited government, the rule of law, peace through strength, fiscal responsibility, free markets, human dignity, the things that lead to human flourishing. We have stood against that. We fought the Nazis. We defended that evil ideology. We roundly condemn it, and anybody in any party who espouses it, we're opposing that. I don't know how else more simply to say that. Yes, sir.
Back on the shutdown, Leader Thune has offered Democrats a vote by the end of the year on Obamacare subsidies. Would you be willing to make the same commitment to sort of ease the shutdown?
Let me tell you what happened yesterday, because I met with Leader Thune, and he offered to Chuck Schumer a vote on Obamacare subsidies, and Schumer said no. that happened. Asked Leader Thune about it, because they wanted a guaranteed outcome. Here's why we can't do that. Let me say this very clearly and for everyone again. Okay, the Obamacare subsidy issue is not the issue of today. It is in a subsidy that expires December 31. We were always planning to continue the debate and discussion about that issue in October and November. Ironically, Democrats are taking the time off the clock for us to do that. It's a very complicated, complex matter. There are no income caps on that. By the way, did you know if you're a hardworking taxpayer, middle-class earner, and your family's struggling to put food on the table, did you know that you are subsidizing wealthy people's health care with that subsidy? You probably didn't. Premiums have risen by some estimates 60% since Obamacare was enacted into law in 2010. There's no way to repeal and replace it because it's too deeply ingrained right now. We have to improve it. Republicans are the ones with the ideas to increase access to care, the quality of care, and bring down the cost. Not the Democrats. They're the ones that gave us this problem, and they're the ones that have made it so expensive. Now, we have 535 members between the House and Senate. There's a lot of people in this deliberative body here. That's a very complicated issue. It's not something that 4 people can go into a back room and guarantee an outcome on. It can't be done. It was not possible to be part of the CR, and it is not feasible. It's not appropriate to be on the CR. We require the member-driven consensus process here, and that's what's necessary. So it's not possible for Leader Thune to guarantee to Chuck Schumer some outcome on that because we haven't finished those deliberations. I mean, that's just as simple as it is, and all of you report on the Hill all the time. You know how the process works. So when Leader Thune offered Schumer a vote on the ACA, on the subsidy, without guaranteeing an outcome.
All right, so that is a live press conference happening there in Washington, D.C. House Speaker Mike Johnson speaking about the government shutdown along with GOP leaders. Also, right there on the corner, we're hearing from Senator Chuck Schumer out of New York, Democrat, speaking on the Senate floor also about the government shutdown. So both men have been for the past since this shutdown has happened, have kind of had coinciding press conferences and speeches in the morning regarding the shutdown. We're in day 16 of the government shutdown. All right, we want to come back here closer to home. We want to go out to Marshall, North Carolina. We're happening right now. North Carolina Governor Josh Stein, who you see there in the background, who will speak shortly, along with Secretary Reed Wilson, visiting Marshall to make an announcement about the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality's Flood Resiliency Blueprint Program. Let's take a listen in to what's being said at this time.
Now, throughout it all, Governor Stein has been a steady partner, not just to Marshall, but to towns across all of Western North Carolina. He has made it clear that our mountain communities matter and that the state is committed to helping us rebuild stronger, safer, and better prepared for the future. His leadership and the resources he's helped deliver have made a real difference here on the ground. So on behalf of the town of Marshall and all of Madison County, I want to say thank you, Governor. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your leadership. And thank you for your belief in the people of Western North Carolina. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Governor of North Carolina, Mr. Josh Stein.
Well, good morning, everybody. I want to thank the mayor for that incredible, warm introduction. I want to thank him for his leadership through these trying times. You took office in 23.
Yes, sir.
You didn't know what you were getting in 24.
I did not.
And we are grateful for the incredible work you've been putting in to help this community come back. I'm here with Secretary of Environmental Quality Reed Wilson, Jane Margaret Bell from the Land of Sky Regional Council, and Sarah Noah with Mountain Valleys Resource Conservation and Development Council. We are here standing beside the majestic French Broad River in beautiful Marshall with an exciting announcement. We're awarding nearly $6 million in grants from the DEQ's Flood Resiliency Blueprint Program to help protect our state from floods. And as Secretary Wilson will discuss, more grants will soon be on the way. The $6 million will be going to 11 projects in the river basins of the French Broad, Cape Fear, Neuse, Tar Pamlico, and Lumber Rivers. Today's $6 million will help local governments restore river channels, increase floodplain water storage, and plant forested stream banks so that the communities are less vulnerable to flooding in the future. We know that there will be floods in the future, so we're making smart investments now to strengthen our riverbanks and to promote resilience to reduce future flooding impacts. A year ago, Helene's record rains overwhelmed the French Broad, causing the river to crest at nearly 25 feet. How much above the bridge, Mayor, did the water get?
It crashed over the hill of the bridge right there, so I mean it's
that bridge was underwater. It's just incredible to imagine an impact of that scale. The floodwaters washed out homes, bridges, businesses, roads, and the railroad. When the water finally subsided, the river was left terribly polluted. Today's grant to the Land of Sky Regional Council will restore approximately 4,000 linear feet of stream channel, plant 2 3/4 acres of riparian buffer, and add 11 acre-feet of floodplain water storage along the French Broad River. And y'all tell me if this is right. 11 acre-feet is 11 acres of land with 1 foot of depth to take water. I passed science class. Investing in resilience and enhancing the French Broad River Basin will help us better protect towns like Marshall from future flooding and protect rivers from pollution. I want to give a big thank you to Secretary Wilson and his team at the Department of Environmental Quality for reviewing all of the applications and getting this money out quickly. And there are other programs that he is working on to get the money out quickly. There will be more to come. I want to thank the General Assembly for appropriating these funds. And I want to thank all the applicants for their commitment to improving the state's resilience for dealing with future natural disasters. I will now invite forward Secretary Wilson to say some more words. Secretary, I'll kick it to you.
Thank you, Governor. Good morning, everyone. Mayor Haney, it is always a great pleasure to be back in beautiful, beautiful Marshall. We at DEQ, we are excited to make this announcement with Governor Stein of the nearly $6 million for 11 flood resiliency projects across the state. 3 of those are here in the French Broad River Basin. I think we all know that North Carolina is facing increasingly frequent, severe, and expensive flooding events, and that is why the North Carolina Flood Resiliency Blueprint was created. And want to thank the General Assembly, just like the governor did, for providing the funds to create the blueprint. A few words about what it actually is. It is a groundbreaking data-based initiative that helps local governments plan and invest in specific strategies and projects to make their communities more resilient to future floods. So by uniting data, tools, and expertise, the blueprint empowers local leaders to protect residents and businesses and critical infrastructure, thereby building communities' resilience to these future flooding events. So again, thanks to the General Assembly. This is the state's largest investment ever in flood mitigation. And so far, DEQ has funded 72 projects from the blueprint around the state, totaling $35 million. And that includes the 11 projects that we're talking about today. So we are here along the French Broad, and this is near where the Land of Sky Regional Council will restore about 0.8 of a mile of the stream channel and plant stream bank vegetation to hold the stream bank in place so that this area can better absorb floodwaters. The amount of money coming to this particular project is $789,000 from the blueprint. The other two projects in the French Broad River Basin are, one is in Yancey County to the Soil and Water Conservation District. They'll receive $100,000 to restore close to 1,000 feet of stream channel and add natural flood storage in a residential area that was heavily impacted by Helene. And in Haywood County, the Southwestern Commission will restore about 1/2 mile of stream channel, plant 3 acres of forested vegetation along the banks of the Pigeon River in Clyde. And that will be $110,000 for that project. As with many grant programs, these 11 grants are the result of a partnership with local entities, but also within our department. So the funds come from the blueprint, but these particular projects were selected by our Water Resources Division because they have expertise in these kinds of things. And the really good news is that in the coming weeks and months, DEQ will allocate $9 million more for flood resiliency projects in the French Broad Basin. And so we'll be coming back again to make those announcements in the near future. I want to stress, though, that this funding we're announcing today is just one of the things we have been doing at DEQ to provide local governments and community groups with funding and other assistance to help rebuild Western North Carolina in a more resilient fashion. For instance, we have approved $86 million out of nearly $700 million that the Environmental Protection Agency has allocated to us to help local communities rebuild drinking water systems and wastewater systems, and not just to build them the way they were, but to make them more resilient for future flooding. And if you're a local government and you haven't applied yet, if you apply by November 3rd, you'll be considered for the next round of funding, but that is not the final round of funding. Let me be clear. We'll be allocating these dollars for a good while. Also, as of this week, local governments can apply for grants from a total of $10 million available for dam safety projects and a separate $25 million for repair and upgrades and expansions of damaged recycling infrastructure in the mountains. If you're a local government, get in touch with us. We may be able to help you with some of those grant funds. Also, we have granted $12 million to 2 nonprofits to clean up stream debris along 125 miles in the North Carolina mountains, and we have invested $5 million to install microgrids to improve energy resiliency in the future. We have a whole bunch of other things we're doing, but I want to get to our next speakers. But I just want to stress that we have been very active, and DEQ is in this for the long haul. We want to be as helpful as we possibly can to the communities in Western North Carolina so that they can recover, rebuild, and be more resilient to future storms that we know are coming. So thank you, and it is my pleasure to turn over the platform to Sarah Noah. Sarah?
Good morning. And thank you to everyone for joining us here today. My name is Sarah Noah. I work for Mountain Valley's Resource Conservation and Development Council, and I live across this river about 1.5 miles downstream from where we are. Helene left the ground we're standing on, and the town you see before you, unrecognizable. The damage was catastrophic, and as soon as the water receded, we rolled up our sleeves and we got to work. 2 hands turned into dozens of hands, then hundreds, then thousands, and in less than 13 months, and with a tremendous amount of support, we've moved mountains on our path to recovery. Some of the most severe flooding in Marshall occurred in the communities directly upstream, Rollins Road and Fortner Hollow. The families that call these neighborhoods home are part of the fabric of our town. For many residents, this is multi-generational land. They speak the language of the river. They've seen it rise and seen it change, and they suffered loss during the storm and since, and this project is for them. Helene was a turning point for our community, and we've taken this time to consider how we can rebuild better with a focus on resilience for the future. This project will restore nearly 4,000 linear feet of the banks of the French Broad River, creating 11 acre-feet of additional water storage in the floodplain. We will stabilize the stream banks using a rock toe revetment and vegetated soil lifts and plant over 3.5 acres of riparian buffer with native vegetation. We expect to be in the design and procurement phase by the end of this year, and the project will be completed no later than October of 2028. I want to deeply thank the NCDEQ's Flood Resiliency Blueprint Program for this critical investment in our natural resources, and the North Carolina Division of Water Resources WRDG program for their administration of this funding. I also want to thank the Madison County Soil and Water Conservation District, the Town of Marshall, and Jennings Environmental for support in the application phase. As well, we have additional funders who are making this project possible. The NC Soil and Water Conservation District STRAP program, Light End Center of Consciousness and Action, the French Broad Crossing Madison County Support Foundation, the Community Foundation of Western North Carolina's Emergency Disaster Relief Fund, and Madison Alliance for Rebuilding Communities. Lastly, this would not have been possible without the encouragement and guidance of the team at Land of Sky Regional Council. This project highlights how effective the partnership between RC&Ds and units of government can be in implementing projects that enhance and conserve natural resources and improve people's lives. Thank you. And I would like to introduce Jane Margaret Bell from Land of Sky Council.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jane Margaret Bell. So on behalf of Land of Sky Regional Council, I want to thank NCDEQ Flood Resiliency Blueprint for this critical investment in floodplain resiliency here in Marshall and across our mountain region and beyond, as we just heard. As we watched the French Broad River overtop its banks last year and peak higher than any of us thought possible, those of us charged with protecting the waterways faced the daunting reality of the environmental devastation that would be left behind and the overwhelm of not knowing where to start. However, the Rollins Road and Fortner Hollow Riverbank Restoration Project illustrates how far we've come and is a prime example that we can heal our rivers and our communities when we come together and share resources. With local leaders like Sarah Noah and regional coordination through the COG, we can reduce flood risk, protect lives, and restore the natural systems that keep our communities safe. Through this effort, almost 4,000 feet of riverbank will be stabilized and planted with native vegetation. The project will add flood storage that could cover over 12 football fields, 1 foot deep. That's larger than the size of this island. So that's enormous. And thanks to the generous funding from NCDEQ and many other partners, this project will reconnect floodplains so the river can safely store and release floodwaters, restore riparian buffers that slow water, improve water quality, and provide vital habitat, repair eroding banks to prevent further loss of land and sediment pollution, protect critical infrastructure in historic and underserved communities, and finally engage our residents and partners to align this work with community recovery and long-term resilience goals. In the wake of Hurricane Helene and other devastating floods, this work is both urgent and deeply encouraging. It represents our region's commitment to rebuilding smarter, stronger, and with natural disaster resiliency at the forefront. We are proud to stand, we, Land of Sky Regional Council, are proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with our partners at Mountain Valleys RC&D and the town of Marshall, whose vision, persistence, and local leadership make this project possible. Together, we're showing what true resiliency looks like in the heart of Western North Carolina. Thank you so much.
Happy to take questions, and you can address any of the speakers.
I'll actually ask the mayor first. So, Mayor, without these grants, could the town by itself paid for any of these repairs or anything that's been talked about? That would have been very difficult for the town to have been able to do that. We are thankful for these grants. You know how everything, the cost of everything is just so expensive nowadays, and how our budget is, it just wouldn't have been able to withstand anything of that magnitude without the support of the state and these grants.
Yeah, a question for Governor Stiles. You call this the largest investment from the state ever. Why did it take something to scale up the lane to get this money approved and through?
Well, the encouraging thing about this program is that there was foresight in the legislature. This blueprint, and Secretary Wilson can speak more to it, was actually authorized a couple years ago. And as you heard, not all of this round of projects are in the west, because there has been a great deal of flooding, as we all know, in the east of the state as well. And so this is part of a normal course of trying to make this state more resilient, because we've had now 3 500-year floods in the last decade. We know there will be more to come, and we want to make sure that when those floods come, that we can minimize the impact as much as we can. Secretary Wilson, anything to add on blueprint?
I guess I'd just add that it was several years ago that the legislature passed this funding, which we are now well on our way to getting out to communities in the 6 river basins that were included in the original flood resiliency blueprint. So as I think we know, there are 11 other basins in the state, and we're hopeful that in the coming years the legislature will provide funding for those as well, because these projects are necessary in just about every community around the state. We know whether it's the coast or the mountains that there could be flooding, and if local communities can get the funding in advance to make them less vulnerable to those flooding events, that's going to help everybody, save lives, save property, save businesses. So we are looking forward to not only finishing this round of funding, but doing so in the future for the entire state.
And how many more rounds of funding does the blueprint have, and how much more money is still sitting but is waiting to be allocated?
So the total amount we have for making grants to communities around the state is about $76 million, and we have specifically allocated $35 million, so a little less than half. But we have a lot of potential projects identified in those 6 river basins, and we will be making announcements in the coming weeks and months, because we are trying to get these funds out to communities as quickly as we can, because they need them.
This is a question for both you guys. 11 projects across the state, and what made Marshall the place to make this announcement here today?
I got to tell you, I've been to Marshall a handful of times, and I'm inspired every time I come. I'm also happy every time I come. And so when it came time to choosing a place, I wanted to come here with some good news. These folks have worked incredibly hard, just incredibly hard. If you drove through the downtown, you saw that if the business was not yet open, there's somebody in there with a hammer trying to get it open as quickly as possible. And it's just my way of saying thank you to the people of this town for lifting me.
We'll take one more question if you have one.
This will just be an off-topic question. I think all of you have answered my questions. I know next week the legislature will be talking about redistricting out there. I'm not sure how much power you have over the legislature when it comes to it, but I just want to get your thoughts on redistricting and your power over
what they decide next week. Yeah, under our state constitution, the governor does not have the authority to veto redistricting. So they will do what they do. And their proposal is an abuse of their power. Just because you have power does not mean you should exercise it. In fact, they're abusing their power to take away the people's power, the voters' power, because they're trying to decide for the voters who their congressperson is. In this representative democracy, the people choose their representatives. It should not be the representatives choosing their people. And meanwhile, understand this is a General Assembly, one of only 2 in the entire country that has not yet passed a budget. So they've failed to pass a budget. They have failed to pay our teachers and law enforcement what they deserve. They have failed to fully expand Medicaid. Now they are failing the voters by taking away their authority to choose their own elected representatives. It's a disgrace.
Gosh, thank you so much. Likewise. We truly, it is not lost on us how massive this investment is. And I mean, I was...
All right, so that press conference just wrapped up there in Marshall, which, as Scarlene informed me, is north of Asheville, North Carolina. Again, those folks impacted by Hurricane Helene, and Governor Stein announcing the flood resiliency program there in Marshall. All right, so we are going to take a step aside. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. So early we heard from GOP leaders along with House Speaker Mike Johnson on the government shutdown, where we are in day 16, entering the 3rd week of the government shutdown. So we went ahead now to the Senate floor. Chuck Schumer, Senator Democrat Chuck Schumer was speaking earlier. So now we're hearing from more Senate leaders. Let's take a listen in to what's being said right at this moment.
Undeterred, her colleague Edmundo Gonzalez was able to run in her stead. Not surprisingly, given the country's near-failed state status, he won over Maduro with 2/3 of the vote in a process meticulously documented by domestic election observers. What did the Maduro regime do? It shamefully refused to swear him as a successor into office and forced him to flee the country. But Maria Corina Machado refused to leave. She stayed. while the regime arrested key opposition supporters and threatened her as well. And while she remains in hiding for her own safety, she has continued to fight for those election results to be respected and a return to democracy in Venezuela. That steadfast courage in the face of such cruelty is incredible and certainly worthy of the Nobel Peace Prize. Senator Jean Shaheen and I were on the telephone yesterday with this brave young lady. She was as determined as ever to see a better future for the people of Venezuela. She has my continued admiration and support in that effort. On another topic, Mr. President, I want to say a few words about events in the Middle East and Ukraine. Over the long weekend, the world saw what is hopefully the beginning of the end of the war in Gaza. I want to congratulate President Trump for the historic agreement that made this possible. There are still critical elements to be negotiated and settled. But the first phase, which included the release of the Israeli hostages and a ceasefire, is a good faith start to a more inclusive agreement. It won't be easy. The remaining steps will be difficult and require sustained attention from President Trump and our allies that help make the beginning of this agreement a reality. As New York Times columnist Tom Friedman wisely wrote this week, and I quote him, "You don't have a second to rest. As someone who wants you to succeed, I have to remind you, as hard as the first state was, you've not seen the hardest yet." I agree. There's been so much pain and suffering sparked 2 years ago from Hamas's brutal October 7th attack and the ensuing war, and it'll take a long time, if ever, to heal. But this is the best chance in a long time toward a more hopeful future where both people, Palestinians and Israelis, can live in peace. Similarly, I hope President Trump will now focus momentum from these events and equal attention on seeking an end to the war in Ukraine. I've said before, I don't begrudge President Trump for trying to engage Russian President Putin to negotiate an end to this terrible conflict. But it should be clear to everyone, and I hope it's clear to President Trump, Putin isn't interested or serious. In fact, Putin has only increased his deadly attacks on Ukraine since good faith outreach by the United States. Similarly, it's long overdue that the Senate pass bipartisan Russian sanctions, a bill that now has 80 bipartisan sponsors, a bill I'm happy to support. Putin only responds to force, military or economic, and it's time for the President and Congress to stand behind the people of Ukraine and to increase this pressure on President Putin. Mr. President, on a separate matter, I'd like to respond to the comments made by my colleague and friend Senator Barrasso from Wyoming on the floor this morning. Why is this government shut down? Why? What is the reason for it? The President's party is in control in the White House, in the House, and in the